Tradespoon. My name is Vlad Karpel. I'm CEO and founder of Yellow Tunnel. And today we're going to go over our weekly strategy roundtable where we talk about trade of the week, go over market conditions, oil prices, 10-year yield, where the opportunities in the market. We definitely see very narrow leadership in the market. So it's important to find these signals using AI. And that's the agenda for today. We also have Scott back with us. He's back. Scott Beck is back. And he will talk about the follow-up webinar from the previous presentation that you guys want to definitely check out. If you don't have a trading plan in writing or you don't keep a journal, that's one of the most popular questions. Then Scott will give you a reminder and I'll show you the link where you can register as well. So please stay tuned. Probably the first 30 minutes we'll try to give Scott the opportunity to give a reminder, and then we'll open up for Q&A in 30 minutes. For those of you who are new, I see some new names. Martin, welcome back. Richard, Simon, Tim, Gordon, Andrew. But Mani, Andrew, you may or may not be being here. For those of you who, or if you watch the recording, for those of you, just a reminder, my background is in technology. I have a master's degree in computer science that I got 25 years ago. Always worked in the fintech space, different startups here in Chicago. Options Express was online broker dealers. You know, Scott Beck knows about Options Express. We worked with InvestTools for a long time and other online educational platforms like Option Addicts. So I've been doing that for over 25 years. Scott been with us for many years as a head coach, and now he runs his own platform for helping you become a more accountable, more disciplined trader by doing things in writing, which is extremely important. Tradespoon Yellow Tunnel started 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, 2012. So it's been a while. Companies went public. I decided to manage my own money. I built a lot of AI using financial engineers that we have here. So we're constantly improving the models, enhancing models, running these financial engineering-based AI models to help identify signals. Then we trade these signals in live trading room. Between me and Keith, we're doing this every morning and closing bell. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. Trading stock and options involve risk, not suitable for everyone. If you haven't seen this slide, I encourage you to visit optionscreen.com so you can understand the risk associated with trading stock and options. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA nor SEC. I'm showing you what I do in my own account based on my own risk tolerance level for general education information purposes only. Right, let's jump before Scott gives you a reminder about how to use AI for your trading plan and trading journal. Let's go into the market. So again, you can see aggressive power trader, aggressive weekly power trader. These are the signals. Aggressive power trader gets published every day. Weekly power trader gets published every week. For this week, we have Apple has a strong signal, AMD. So technology, again, exposure to AI, that's Apple, AMD, slightly different business models, but nonetheless, kind of riding the way of AI. BWA, infrastructure play, industrials are finding some support. JBL, these are all electronics, semiconductors, technology. INVH, Invitation Homes. So some of the REITs, especially if they do have exposure to AI or build out of data centers, they're also catching a bit. So these are the symbols for this week. For spiders, model C's for the next 10 days, 740. Doesn't see a lot of momentum outside of 740. Today, 750 level, right? This was done as of Friday's close. Again, we have new information over the weekend, long weekend. Looks like de-escalation in the Middle East, potential reaching of an agreement in it was Iran, and the opening of Strait of Hormuz. And market responds accordingly. You can see main price action is in 10-year yield. It's right on that borderline right? We talked about it last week. It's right on the borderline between what I would say fears of inflation versus regular market, right, versus deflation. So every time we're above 450, and that was the high for May and high for 2025. So we posted a new high in 10-year yield, on 30-year yield, which is higher than we've seen it since the end of 2024. Not that far. 2024 was 4.8, or January 25, end of 24. So fears of elevated energy prices. We've seen PPI print, CPI print. We have PCE data this week. And the good news is that we're back to 450. We were as low as 447. So highest was 470. But we're still right at that borderline. If you look at the crude oil, this is a reflection of the crude oil prices and Brent, right? And gasoline futures. So crude oil is below 100. We are retesting May low today, down 2.5%. But off the session lows, you see we were as low as 89. Again, because one tweet was the de-escalation and potentially reaching an agreement. That was Sunday, and then Monday we're bombing Iran again. Some of their rocket launchers, right, kind of as a defensive measure. So still ceasefire, but it's kind of same conversation we've had in the past couple of months, right? It's one step forward, one step back. Crude oil is still down, but off the session lows. Brent is down, off the session lows, and gasoline futures are still at the session lows. Gasoline futures continue to drop, and you can see that is positively affecting our airlines, right? That depends on gasoline futures. So you see Jets airline today in a strong price action. What else benefiting? Lower energy price. So airlines is definitely one of the sectors that caught a bit. Semiconductors posted new highs, right? So AI trade, right? There's a Wall Street Journal article that says that potentially there's not enough hype about the AI, that people are going to work, twice a week for 4 hours or 6 hours each, universal income, right? Companies are getting more efficient. Companies, whether it's 2 employees or 50 employees or 100,000 employees, everybody's getting more efficient. You've seen Scott open up his own business and using AI to help them, help people become more disciplined traders. So it's benefiting everyone, right? It's benefiting everyone, and some people are under the impression we're not hyping AI, and we're kind of in the middle, right? We're still in the 5th or 6th inning, and there's few more years of this parabolic move to the upside. Maybe we'll see. So semiconductors are leading the market. QQQ is posting new high, and the good news is that value stocks that are not as AI dependent did break out on Friday, and we do have a follow through today, day 1, day 2, day 3. If we do have a broadening participation from value stocks, and small caps are making new high despite interest rates being a 10-year yield, that's what bulls argue, right? Their argument is that it's very narrow leadership and at some point it will end. But the bulls argue that if the value stocks can participate and small caps can start participating, then the rally can continue, especially if the oil prices and will drop. And energy prices. So what else is interesting? 10-year yield, dollar is stable, right at that 100 level, 99 level, no new signal, kind of still weak dollar. You can see AI and weak dollar is pushing emerging market to new highs, marginal new highs in emerging market. Copper prices and precious metals in general today catching a bit. What else is interesting? Google continues to make new all-time highs, so that's strong. NVIDIA earnings were, they were very strong, but still was not enough catalyst to continue grinding higher. So NVIDIA is falling behind some of the other semiconductors names. We do have Dell and Marvell earnings this week, so that could push market potentially high. And SPX is glued to 7,500, right? 7,500 was an overhead resistance. Now 7,500 is a support. And if you look at the previous low, 7,300. If you look at the gamma flip point, where dealers have to be buying on the pullbacks, right, to be delta and gamma neutral, it's around right around 7,300, 7,280. So I would still use this line as your stop level if you're thinking about a few weeks or a week. I would use 7,300 as your stop loss. But first thing first, 7,500, right? We were close at 7,500 last week. We were as high as almost 7,540 in SPX. Futures, we were closer to 7,600 in overnight sessions. So those are your immediate support and resistance levels. So Scott did the great webinar. 3 habits that separate consistent traders. We do have a video. We do have a link inside of this video that talks about how to become a consistent and disciplined trader. I encourage you to look at this video and follow the link. I'm going to drop it in the chat inside of the questions. And I just want to give an opportunity for Scott to answer some of your questions and just give you a reminder of what to expect. So I post that, and inside of the questions, let me post in chat. And Scott, can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect. Loud and clear.
Perfect.
So I posted the link to the webinar replay that we did, what was it, last week? May 12th, 2 weeks ago. And just want to, if you can give us an update of what to expect.
Absolutely, yeah, and definitely pop in there. Vlad has a link for you. I don't know if I can post anything in there or not. That might only go to you, Vlad, but if you follow, there's a specific link for Vlad to the deliberate trading site. And essentially what it boils down to is this: tomorrow we are starting a 5-part, one night a week, Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. We're going to do a 5-part trading plan development webinar. So we're actually going to be showing you how to use. You get free access to the site forever, so you can go in there and start developing your trading plan. You can work on your record keeping. You can look at your analytics. All of that's available for you, ready to go. And we're going to go through it. It's a webinar created specifically for the TradeSpoon community. And so what we'll do is every Wednesday we'll go in for an hour. It will be recorded. So even if you want to just watch the recording, anyone who signs up using Vlad's link to register for an account will get an invite to that webinar. You'll get the video. So you'll have the videos that walk through what are the components you need in your trading plan. How do you go about writing your rules and your routines, and how do you go about structuring your record keeping to get better insights and understand what you need to do to improve? How do you connect your trading plan to your psychology? And how do you work it all together as a cohesive process to become the best possible trader you can? That's what it boils down to. So go spend 30 seconds to sign up for a free account. You'll get an email that invites you to join us for the webinars. If you can't attend live, you'll be able to watch the recordings where we go through and walk through all of those components. And maybe Vlad will have me back in a couple weeks, and I'll tell you how the first 2 weeks are going, and you won't want to miss it. So it's free for TradeSpoon community members to get an account, join us for the webinar. I hope to see everybody jump in and join us.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you popping in. It means a lot to me. And hopefully you guys realize how great this opportunity is, right? This is a way to systematically document your trades and use AI to help analyze your trades, make sure you're consistent, and keep you accountable, right? In every live trading room, I always say, keep a journal, do it in writing, give yourself grade A and B. If you're following your trading plan and you didn't make any, you didn't deviate from your trading plan, right? We talked about risk aversion, right? Prospect theory last time. And this is just a great way to integrate AI and your trading plan and journal all in one. And the webinar was a great success. So we have it recorded. You can, if you don't have time right now or tomorrow, please be sure to look at our library of these webinars, and under trading discipline, the latest webinar is the Scott Beck has done this. So Scott, thank you. I did post a link to the registration for the webinar and for the follow-up series on deliberate trading platforms. So I put the link inside of the chat and inside of the questions. Scott, thank you very much, and we will definitely see you soon.
Thanks, Vlad. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks for popping in. Thank you. All right. Any other questions? All right. So what else do we have on yellow tunnel? Different signals, right? Today, this week, Costco, CRM, Dell, Marvel announces earnings. Zscaler announces earnings. We do have a strategy. We have a daily webinar, the last hour of the session for earnings power trader, where you can actually trade this. Let's refresh this. So I'm going to trade either Dell or Marvell, have earnings Wednesday and Thursday. So these trades have been very, very successful, and they give you a very kind of asymmetrical return, where if you think that Dell and Marvell are going to beat the earnings, right? You can sell the put spread, right? That's been my favorite strategy lately, and finance to buy calls or call spread, depends on your account size. It worked well with Intel. It worked well with AMD. I traded AMD. Should be able to see that, right? AMD is not here, but it's under dynamic power trader. AMD was a signal this week. There's a follow through, but if you look at AMD for the past 30 days. Yeah, so this is an example where I would sell a credit put spread for 43 cents. I bought a debit spread. So this debit is only 30 cents, right? 32 cents, but I was able to close it for $2.30. So you get this kind of 6 times, 7 times full return on your investment. Again, very speculative trade. It's a short-term trade. You open and close the trade overnight or 2 days. But you can have these asymmetrical returns, right? So that's earnings power trader. If you look at the aggressive power trader and the weekly power trader, first of all, any questions on aggressive power trader or weekly power trader? Alex, Andrew Balash, thank you for joining. Chuck, JT, Kevin, Manny, Martin, Michael, Richard, Simon, Tim. Any questions on the earnings power trader? Aggressive power trader, the model runs every day, right? The models run every day and basically identifies stocks that have strong momentum short term. The model makes predictions for the next couple of days. Usually I hold a position for a couple of days or couple hours, couple of days. So today, AMD, Caterpillar, Hershey. Where the signal AMD, I'm actually trying to trade AMD in a live trading room. I suggested buy calls if you have a larger portfolio because they're expensive, right? Semiconductor stocks triple, quadruple in the past year or so. So hard to find a stock under $100. So single calls, easier to execute, but they're expensive, right? In the live trading room, I suggested maybe buying for 80 call that expires in June, right? Or you can buy a spread. So I'm trying to buy 450, 455 spread. Obviously, this was done as of Friday close, and AMD model did a good job finding that AMD is in uptrend. If you look at some of the stocks that I'm actually watching in terms of AI stocks that the model identified in the past week or so, you have right, AMD is up 6%, Texas Instrument is up 4%. We have Qualcomm that I'm still trading is up 3%, Micron up 18% today, right? STX is up 5%, LRCX 5%, and Dell up 2%. So these are all the signals in the past 2 weeks that aggressive power trader identified. I don't trade all of them. I don't want to overtrade my account, but if I don't, I think at least one trade, you probably want to have exposure to semiconductors. So AMD is more aggressive trade, option trade. If you're not comfortable, I've been trading Qualcomm. Right? I have been trading Qualcomm, which gives you what happened to Qualcomm? Not aggressive power trader, sorry, dynamic power trader. So if you go to dynamic power trader again, and you go to orders, type in Qualcomm. The last 30 days, probably the past couple of weeks, I've been trading Qualcomm as a signal. So I trimmed Qualcomm stock today. I closed the Qualcomm option on Friday. So again, combination of stock and option trades that you can find either in weekly power trader or aggressive power trader. For weekly power trader, again, Apple, AMD, industrial name, on semiconductor, JDL. This data gets updated, unlike aggressive power trader, it runs on Sundays only, over the weekend. And it looks at the long-term analysis, an idea that signal is generated for the next 5 to 10 days. And sometimes I hold in this position for a couple of days, sometimes a couple of hours, right? Transocean last week, I held literally for just a few hours. That's weekly power trader. Dynamic power trader is where I actually trade these signals. You can see a combination of both stock and options. A lot of people ask me, Vlad, why do you trade stocks? I only trade options, or why do you only trade options? I don't trade stocks. I try to give example of both. A lot of it just depends on your comfort level, your portfolio size, how long you've been trading, right? So you have to be very careful when you select, single options on Qualcomm, on Micron, they're very expensive, right? And you can, one bad trade or one bad week, you can lose 20, 30, 40% of your portfolio. So you want to avoid that, especially for smaller portfolios, smaller accounts, right? Because when I bought this call at 760, I could have lost $750, right? If you had a sharp sell-off in Qualcomm. Probably for $5,000 account or $10,000 account, that violates that rule of 2.5%, right? You don't want to risk more than 2.5% of your account trade value per, more than 2.5% of your account value per trade. So one way to do this, you would do a spread, right? Here I did a Qualcomm spread, 205 to 10 call spread. Any questions? Alex, Andrew, Balash, Chuck, David, JT, Ted, Tom, Manny, Martin, Michael, Swagman, Tim, Mario. We did not notification from you. Yes. I mean, you should have received it, but not early. So you should have got an SMS message. Oh, so Qualcomm. Qualcomm, there was an SMS on Friday. I'm not sure why. Qualcomm, you should have received. I know this morning AMD, well, I didn't get filled, but I did send an email and text message on Qualcomm that I sold shares. So if you haven't received it, just open up a support ticket. Let's see if there's tomorrow. Maybe there was something. But you should have got a text message and email on Qualcomm. And I'll make sure I'll check again. Sorry about that, Martin. What else? So I talked about dynamic power trader, weekly power trader, earnings power trader, and profit accelerator if you trade in stock and options. Sorry, stocks only, then the emails that you're gonna get is gonna specify buy stock. Like an example of AMD, I'm buying option, but I will send an email. Once I get executed, I will say, well, you can buy, either options if you're comfortable trading options, or stock if you're comfortable trading stock. On Qualcomm today, Qualcomm. So Qualcomm, I closed. Well, today I closed stock because I had a stock position and I had an option position. Right. So today I closed half of my Qualcomm stock position, and on Friday I closed single option. Right. On Friday I closed single option. So I'm out of the 230 call. Right. I don't have any more calls. I still have half of my original Qualcomm stock position. And I will check on SMS messages. I mean, I did get an SMS message. Let me see. So it could be just maybe something connection with your phone, but not sure. Yeah, but I did. There was an SMS that says closed QQQ hedge and 50% of flow count. So I also closed the QQQ hedge. So if you didn't get an SMS message today, call QQQ. On Friday, I closed 30% of my QQQ position. And today I closed the QQQ put hedge because QQQ is breaking out. And I don't think we're going to get to the 700 level from yesterday, from last week. I think will hold now. I think we are going into, from seasonality point of view, this I was talking about seasonality this morning. So you do have 7,500 support, right? 7,400 pretty large put spread, 7,300, 7,200. So I think the 7,200, the positive gamma, is going to hold, right? You have 24,000 contract at 7,200. You have 24,000 at 7,300, and at 7,400, you have 12,000 contracts. So I think that will hold. And from seasonality point of view, right? Assuming we're not going to bomb Iran, which is big assumption, but assuming not, right? And energy price is going to stay, make lower lows and lower highs. Then if you look at seasonality returns, right? We talked about seasonality returns for the months of June, and they're being positive, right? For 25 positive, 24 positive, 23 positive. During last bear market, they were negative, but other than that, you have to go back to 2015 to see negative returns for the months of June. I mean, I wouldn't make my decision purely on seasonality, but it could be one of the inputs into your decision-making process. Any other questions? Qualcomm, QQQ. All right, and in terms of other sectors, let's sum it up last week and just see if we see any other signals. Right, I'm going to look at the weekly chart where each candlestick is 1 week. So QQQ, again, consolidated for 3 weeks, now making new highs. We'll see where we're going to close. Retail sector has been weak, right? Very sensitive to inflation and high interest rate. No new signal. It's been under pressure. Energy is down today, under pressure. No new signal. It's kind of trading sideways. We do have a strong performance in metals on drop of interest rates, and hope that there will be, the traffic to the Strait of Hormuz will reopen. So you do have no new signal. I won't say a new signal, but nonetheless up 5%. If the 10-year yield continues to drop below 4.5%, I think metals and miners will be one of the beneficiaries. Consumer discretionary, Teslas of the world, no new signal. Healthcare is under pressure. Utilities under pressure. Consumer staples under pressure, no new signal. Tech making new highs. XLK is up 2.5%. Industrials are higher. I think there was a Caterpillar signal. How's Caterpillar doing today? Yeah, Caterpillar is up, so that was a good signal, right? In weekly power trader. Oh, it was an aggressive power trader. Sorry. Yeah, so Caterpillar continues to grind higher, and you can see industrials catching a bit. No new signal. It's kind of consolidating for 5 weeks, but nonetheless, broadening of participation is a welcome sign. Banks are under pressure, high interest rates. The banks don't like high interest rates, so no new signal, kind of trading sideways. Energy, we talked about. Materials sideways. Home builders under pressure, underperforming due to high interest rates. Value stocks, you do have a signal, BTV breaking out, so that's positive. REITs catching a beat. So real estate REITs are trading, pays you higher interest rate payments, right? 3.6 just the dividend yield. Some of them are paying you 7-8%, but 2026 high, 2025 high, right? Despite elevated interest rates. So if interest rates drop, I think REITs can continue outperform. VIX 1716, no panic in the market. Kind of people are not hedging. We talked about QQQ making new highs, spiders new highs, junk bond more or less stable. So spread between junk bonds and treasuries is not, not widening. So that's good. That's good, and it's off the March lows, which is also positive. Regional banks are catching a bit. Insurance companies not going anywhere. Semiconductors are obviously making new highs. Airlines are catching a bit on lower energy prices. Transportation is trying to break out, kind of a marginal new highs, maybe it's small. Talked about small caps breaking out. And Japan, new close to all-time high. Germany close to all-time high. Gold miners catching a bit. And that's about it. Magnificent Seven Meta is still under pressure, right? Amazon consolidating, but close to all-time high. Tesla is consolidating. I mean, gain there to all-time high. Microsoft can catch a bit. I was hoping that the software sector is going to catch a bit. I mean, IGV, it looks like it is above 88 strike, 90 strikes, so that's positive. A lot of people are bullish on the software, that this fear of AI replacing software companies is overdone, but we'll see. That's about it. Any questions? All right. Well, we talked about deliberate trading. Try to support Scott Beck, especially if you've been here long enough. You remember his webinars. We do still have more. If you're looking for lifetime access, kind of if you're using the PayPal, it's only with the PayPal. But if you use the PayPal, kind of this pay later functionality, it's a one-time payment. But actually, the payment is broken down into 4 parts. You pay $375 now, then another $375 in June, July, August, and then you're done. You're never going to get paid. There is no maintenance fee. There is no recurring fee. So this final hours, we're still going to run this till end of day. So if you're interested in getting all of these services together, then just click on Go Now and sign up, and you'll get lifetime access to these services. Oh, QQQ. Okay, sorry about it. Yeah, I'll check. Yeah, Micron is continuing to going higher. Thank you. If they purchase it, Richard, I mean, you get SMS. Usually, I try to do everything in the live trading, right? So unless market moves a lot, I try to do it between 8:30 and 9:30. An example of AMD, where the trade is going kind of away from me, I will execute it then the last hour. So most of my trades is the first hour of the session. We have live trading room the first hour, and then the last hour of the session. But most of the trades are in the morning because that's when I trade. And then like earnings power trader, when I do earnings, usually that's the last hour of the trading session, right? The last 40 minutes before market closes. Like an example of Zscaler, I'm going to go over Zscaler trade today. It might not be part of the yellow tunnel because I don't want to overtrade my account, but I'll do it in my personal account and I will talk about it in the live trading as well. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate your kind words. Thank you. All right, Alex, welcome back. Andrew, Bash, Chuck, Gus, JT, Kevin, Mani, Martin, Michelle, Richard, Simon, Tim. Any questions on sectors, where to trade? Again, one thing I would spend a lot of time, again, on stocks like Micron, at some point you're going to have a gamma squeeze, right? Because in 2026, I mean, it almost, triple, right? And it's a multi-billion-dollar company. And when that gamma squeeze happens, it happens when there is no more buyers, right? If everybody bought calls and everybody bought stock, then just by the fact that nobody else is buying, usually you have these large crashes to the downside, right? We had it with silver. Best example was silver of beginning of the year, right? We went from 40 to 120, triple, right? And then at some point something happens, right? Interest rates go up, or bad earnings from Nvidia, and there's no more buyers, and you do have that squeeze, right? Everybody buying calls because Micron is expensive. They can't afford $600 stock, so they're buying calls. And if people stop buying calls, you're gonna have these 30-40% moves to the downside. We've seen it with meme stocks, seen it not meme, like silver is not a meme stock, but nonetheless you see it. So same thing is going to happen with Micron. I just don't know if it's going to happen today or 3 months from now. But that's why buying options, right? At least well-defined risk, or option spreads. You can participate in trade, but you have a well-defined risk. On a larger account, you can, I guess, trade single options. But that's stock substitution is something to consider. If you are trading stocks, then you do need to find stop levels, which is tricky, right? On a stock like Micron, you can say 800, but it could be 700, 500. It could move very quickly. So just be careful and make sure you don't overtrade in your account that have exposure to the AI names. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your support. A lot of people attended. This is awesome. Next Tuesday, same time, same place. I hope you guys can make it. Alex, how do you feel about World Cup trade? I'm Brazil, right? France, Brazil, France. It's canceling a lot of hotel room reservations. I haven't followed. I will watch soccer. I do like soccer. I grew up, always Brazil, Argentina, France, Germany. Those are the, solid teams that I'm sure is going to help. Oh, you will attend some of the games. I'm definitely going to watch, yes. Your opinion on Amazon. I still have Amazon. I'm long Amazon. It's consolidating. It's still a very strong price pattern. It's above that 260 strike. It's underperforming today on a down day, on an up day, right? Google is also underperforming. So you still have that sector rotation, but I'm holding this stock in my personal account. I have an option. This was a signal a couple of weeks ago. I think, going into the earnings, into the next earnings cycle, I think it's still strong. For now, last week we were what, 255? So 255. I would carefully watch 255. I know there's a high open interest at 260 strike. So 260, 255 is very important support level for Amazon. But the earnings were decent. Obviously, they are not as good as Google. So Google chart, almost looks the same, right? They're in the same ETF, same basket. But between Google and Amazon, I think Google is a better investment. But they're both showing that cloud computing, AI investment is paying off. Google, it's kind of a much higher slope in terms of revenue and earnings. Amazon is a little bit sideways, slightly to the upside, but still companies that should benefit from the AI. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much, and have a great Michael, Italy. All right, Italy, yes, I agree. Italy is a great team too. Italy is a great. There's a lot of great teams. Soccer is a lot of fun. Italy actually won, right? Not last, but like in the past 8 years they won. All right. Andrew, Belash, Chuck, Gus, Kevin, Martin, Michael, Michelle, Richard, Simon, Tim. Thank you guys very much. Support Scott. There's actually a free version, limited free version that you don't have to pay anything. And if you're interested in this lifetime access, try it out. 30 days money back guarantee. Thank you very much, and I'll hopefully to see you either in live trading room. Remember, we have live trading room every day. Try to watch the recordings if you can't go live. We do have recordings, so please watch the recordings, because this is where not Scott, but Keith and I explain every trade. We go over every trade, so please watch that. Yeah, also next Tuesday, same time, same place. Thank you very much, and have a great day.